Hey boys and bears, it's Dan, and tonight I'm going to continue my series of my favorite movies in each subgenre in my horror collection. So, I've done anthologies, God, what did I do? I did a couple of other ones, and demons, something else. But tonight I'm going to cram 3 different monsters into one video, because I don't have a lot of movies in each subgenre that I actually totally think are great. And they're like movies, I'm trying to focus on movies that not everybody has seen. They're not the most obvious movies. So I was hoping to, give some exposure to some of these cool movies. So I'm going to make this one short, and, well, it's me, so I'm saying I'm going to make it short, but you never know. But look, there I go already. So, alright, I'm going to get to it. So first, so it's vampires, werewolves, and witches. So let's get to it. There's only a couple of movies in each category. So we're going to start with vampires. So first we have Stakeland. So, with vampires, vampires with their blood, on the neck, and want to suck your blood. That's not really my thing. I've never found them super scary. But I like the vampires, kind of like 30 Days of Night, where they're really, really, really evil and vicious, and those horrible teeth that could just rip you open. So that's why I like Stakeland. Now, Stakeland it has a couple of cool people. It has Kelly McGillis is in it, of Top Gun. It has Danielle Harris, and it has now Nick D'Amici. He works with the director, Jim Mickle, of this movie. They work together. They do a lot of horror together. They did Mulberry Street, which is one of my favorite zombie movies, and will be in another video at some point when I do my zombies. So, they also did We Are What We Are, and now, actually, Nick, who's the lead in here, he's great. He's going to be in the movie Late Phases, which is a werewolf movie, which is probably going to end up in my favorite werewolf movies section. So, Stakeland, what's so cool about Stakeland is that, Nick and Jim, what they do is they make really character-driven horror movies, but they're still really horrific horror movies. They're serious horror movies, but they're very character-driven and have a lot of emotion to them. That's what I love about their movies. So definitely check out Stakeland if you've never seen it. So after that, I have only one other vampire movie. We have Caretakers. Now, Caretaker, not Caretakers. Caretaker, when I watched this, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Stakeland, because it's very character-driven. So, of course, it's going to be one of my favorite vampire movies. And the vampires, again, are creepy and freaky and have big, big evil teeth. And the head vampire is one hot stud. So I love this one, and it's during a vampire apocalypse, and this group of humans tries to hide out in this house to stay away from the vampires. Turns out there's already a vampire living there, the hot, sexy one. So what's really cool about this is that they strike a deal. They will protect him from the humans trying to hunt vampires, and he will protect them from vampires. It's a great premise. Very cool movie. I love that one. Now we're going to move on to werewolves. Here's one that I think most people have probably seen this one at this point, but it's from the era when movies like The Howling and Silver Bullet and American Werewolf in London were the big ones. Then came along Bad Moon. So Bad Moon, it stars Eddie of Eddie and the Cruisers. Yes, he's on the dark side. But Bad Moon is got another one of those huge, big, cool-looking werewolves, and you get to see Eddie's wiener. So nothing dark side about that. That is the sunny side. So I love Bad Moon. I think a lot of people really have seen this one by now, but that's one of my favorite werewolf movies. Then we have, also, this is a modern movie, but it also harkens back to that era of those big, cool-looking werewolves. We have Wild Country. Wild Country, I think it's a British film, but if you speak like really crappy American English like me, you have to put on subtitles or you're not going to understand what they're saying. They have very heavy accents. Group of kids out in the wild country, and they're being hunted by a werewolf. And the thing is that it's kind of slow at the beginning. You don't see the werewolf. It's all, implied that he's there and that he's attacking them, but it pays off. In the end, werewolf monster gruesomeness, gore. This is a great movie. I love this. This movie should get more attention. And then we have Big Bad Wolf. This is if you like your campy comedy horror with a little bit of nasty sexual grossness put in there. That's Big Bad Wolf. He's a big, goofy-looking werewolf, and he talks. He has one-liners. This is one of my favorites. This is a party movie. This is the kind of werewolf movie you put on at a party. Love this movie. And then finally we have this really bizarre film called Wolf Moon. It's a very long film. I think it was actually like a bunch of short films or a series or something. I don't know, but it's been put into one movie. And it's basically like Twilight meets Near Dark. So you got this guy and this girl, they have this romance. It's like takes place like in the desert somewhere, and there's this plot about the father, right? He's a werewolf too, but he's hunting the son, who's also a werewolf. And what's so good about this is that the father and son, they are so freaking hot. They're both so hot. I mean, they're both gorgeous. Like, I blogged about this one a while ago. Go on my website, type in Wolf Moon, and there's pictures of them because they make one hot team. And when they turn into werewolves at the end to fight each other, right? They're kind of like the goofy-looking big bad wolf guys. But it's awesome. This is a lot of fun. Lin Shaye is in it. That's a great movie. So anyway, now we're going to move on to the final one, which is The Witches. So we have, this is probably my all-time favorite witch movie, because this is the first one that really nails witches, other than like The Witches, which is like a kids movie, sort of. This is witchin' and bitchin', and I think this one has caught on a lot too. It seems like on the internet you guys talk about this one a lot, so I'm really glad this one has caught on. Witchin' and bitchin' is so awesome. The witches are just devilish fiends, and there's hot guys in it, and there's a kiss, there's a man-on-man kiss, and there's gore, and there's tons of humor, and then at the end there's this giant, naked, nasty witch that, like, remember Dead Alive? The mom, when she's on the roof at the end? Ew, it's like that, it's nasty! So, of course, nasty is good. So that's Witchin' and Bitchin'. You gotta see this crazy, crazy movie. And finally, we have this one. We have The Woods. Woods is a slower-paced movie. It actually, to me, reminds me of the Suspiria-type movie. So this girl goes to an all-girls school, and she starts to suspect something is really off at this school. Things are very, very weird, and she starts to believe that there's a witch coven, right? Now, the cool thing about this movie is that Bruce Campbell is in it. He plays her dad. He drops her off at the beginning, and then he disappears. And you're like, oh, they just put Bruce Campbell's name in there, you know, to draw everybody's attention. Well, Bruce comes back at the end to help his daughter, right? And they throw in all these, you know, different, you know, homages to Evil Dead, right? And Bruce brings on the Bruce stick and all this good stuff. There's a coven of witches, and there's an axe, and there's gore, and there's chopping, and it's very cool. There's trees that come alive, you know, Evil Dead, hint, hint. And it's a great, this is a good one. This is a really, you know, this is a sit down and watch it kind of movie. It's not a comedy, really. Bruce brings on some comedy, but it's not really a comedy. It's just a great witch movie. So that's it. That's my vampires, my werewolves, and my witches. So until I do my next category, I don't know what it is. I gotta look on my list. I got a whole list of movies. Those are my favorites of movies that may not have been seen by everybody. So anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for Boys, Bears, and Scares. The numbers are going up on the likes and everything. And, you know, follow me on Twitter. I got the YouTube channel where this video will also be. And that's it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.